What's up, Brad? Tim. Oh, what's up, Nate? It's Super Shay here too. Right on. What up, Ground Pounder? Okay. So this makes it episode 88 of Weekly Violations. So I'll open it, shouting out everybody that's keeping this channel going, which is the people that have joined members. We got In the Trees, William Moxie, Low Impact Forestry and Team, Ground Pounder, J306, Super Shay, 5 Chris 5, Chris Beckett, James R, Bucky Sauls, Buckwheat, Guilty of Treason, Veterans Tree Service, and Birchleaf. Shout out to those people. Those are your deputies. Mind your P's and Q's around them, and thanks for the support. Definitely what's keeping the channel moving. What's going on with everybody? What's up, Zachary? Yeah, so it was a little tricky doing this one. I am I'm in the middle of an investigation. So I've had to travel to do that. Kind of not in my office. Things are a little tricky right now. But do what we can do to keep it going. Actually, I'll double check again, Lim Reaper, but I will have the link to join members in the description of this, and also no PSA for this week, but for those that are curious, the memberships are that's where all my edited content goes, is strictly to members. And I think there's a library of maybe 20 to 30 videos right now that are up. I feel like my editing is as good as it's ever been, if not better, and it'll give you the option. Really, click the money thing on your screen, it'll give you the option. That's crazy, Tim. Yeah, I want to buy some members and gift members away on here eventually during one of these live feeds, but I think there's like stipulations. You have to be subscribed and stuff to be able to accept them. But yeah, that's some stuff we got going on. Yeah, then you get all the sick emojis too, and and the content is all ad free, so I don't monetize any of the videos, and I don't put ads on any of the videos. So all the videos on members is all ad free. So we got something we'll be doing that's a little different this week. So what's new with the channel? So Jacob Rogers cried, moaned and groaned, and paid me a large sum of money, and so that I would put timestamps, because I think basically because maybe he's just super busy, he doesn't have the time to watch the rest of it, he just wants to see his part, or he's your typical fathead main character syndrome YouTuber. I don't know which one it is, but I mean, the money was good. So from now on, in the description, I will have timestamps for the people that we talk about. So the channels that we cover will be in the description. So if there's somebody that you want to watch, a certain section you want to watch, just go into there and click on the timestamp. Should make it easy. Jacob had asked me why I don't do timestamps, and I really didn't have an answer. But like now I realize I have to do more work now. So I made him pay me, like I said, a large sum of money, and that's where we're at. So we're here now. So um, make it a little quicker on people when they're watching it afterwards too. So where do we start this week? So um, shoot, I tell you what, I'm gonna start with Perry Trees because a lot of the other stuff that we go into after this um, will relate to this. So yeah, we'll do that. Hey, I, you guys, this crew, we got a hell of a crew here. I like everybody's videos. It's sick. So, all right. So I don't know. I think this dude is an industry plant. All right. Um, he, I don't, I don't know about him. I don't know if I trust him. But okay, let's get into this. He puts out a video, and it's called Akimbo 2. Yeah, the silky. I almost feel like I should have gave him a ticket for that, but at the same time, the little boy in me was like, I want one. So I couldn't really get mad. But all right, so let's get into this. Perry Trees puts out this video, Akimbo 2. So I'm gonna give you my opinion. What he did is an overview, a review of the Akimbo 2. So what's up, Fred? And yeah, I'm gonna give my opinion along the way as we discuss his video, and we'll see if we end up with any violations. But so they 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 bring us out. A few weeks ago, I put out a PSA. I said, you know, the tree care industry needs to stop putting out video or devices that are just the same. You know, um, if it's not different, you can't call it number two. Like, that's weird. That's just weird. It's I'm there's going to be a topic or a main theme of this live feed, and it basically revolves around YouTubers being greedy. Tree guys that are YouTubers that get greedy. That your support isn't enough. They need merch money. They need you to support all their businesses. They need this. They need that. They need this. There's ways of doing that. I understand it, but a lot of lines were crossed and a lot of violations. So Perry Trees says, I got the Akimbo too. So Akimbo has added a pulley at the bottom. So the Akimbo, the way it's designed, there's a cam system here, and it's attached by like a metal tether to a bottom cam. So they, on the base for the last cam, they installed a pulley to make, you know, when you go to tend it, it makes it act much easier when it's got a pulley. You guys will notice that Notch, on the other hand, um, also visited Seattle Tree Care video. Oh, right on. So they attached a pulley, which is crazy because Notch just put out the Vertex, and they took the pulley away. So one company is adding a pulley to make it tend better. The other company removed the pulley to make it tend like shit. So don't really get that one, but to each their own. So Akimbo puts the pulley. So I'm okay, cool. Um, then basically it's the differences. It's a it's a little bulky. It's a little bigger apparently than the Akimbo one. I don't really see a big difference. But then I quickly realized that the purpose. So it's purple. It's prettier. The reason for this being equal rights. You know, women deserve to have tree devices also. So Perry Trees, you know, is showing this. He probably, you know, He just supports, I feel like. So um, it's bulkier, it's prettier, but women like bright colors, stuff like that. So I don't think much about it. So he says that he has trouble getting the device to start moving. So when you collapse the device to get it to descend, he's having trouble with that initial descent. And I think that may be something that just happens when you're using cammed devices, because there's a way you can almost relieve your body weight up out of your saddle when you're using like the gree, and it will release that cam because your body weight's what engages the cam, and it's like, I just feel like that's something you're going to deal with when you're using a cammed device. So he says he has trouble getting it to move. Um, they added a spring on the top cam. So cam here, tether, another cam. Rope goes through. So it used to fall and like be floppy collapse. So and the spring for it was inside the cam there. So instead now they put it out on the tether, and it engages the entire cam, the top cam system. So that may be a fix for that, because what used to happen is when guys would go to tend it up, if they didn't then place their weight into it, it would stay collapsed and then it would just drop. And that's ridiculous. That's got to be sketchy as hell. So they add the spring at the top, and that eliminates that crazy drop down slippage at the beginning when it would be right after ascent. So there is differences here, and but then I'm like, the differences are so minimal that it's like, you know is this, well, how would you say, does it justify calling it the Akimbo 2? So it has an easy open setup that just, it flips open. Nothing really looks like it locks, but it just flips open if you backwards engage the system. I don't much like that. I think that's weird. It just doesn't look right to me. The adjustments on the two cams have a little lever, a little arm that locks into place, and it covers the setting things up, and then you drop this little, like, looks like a little wrench, real skinny, thin little wrench thing. You drop it down, and the arm falls down, you adjust, and then you flick it back up. Why they decided to put them upward like that doesn't make any sense, because after a while, when that little hook arm gets wallered out, it's not going to stay upward. It's going to fall. So I think that's a flaw in the design. So I've just, if they would have done it the other way, it would stay locked. Gravity would be helping you, but it's like fighting you. So I don't much understand that. And they just kind of look weird too, the adjustments. The cams, both cams, smack together a lot. I don't like that. I don't like how when people are using the system, the two cams hit each other. That just doesn't seem safe, because if you're trying to go down and it hits, you can't go anymore. So you can't fully control your descent. It's limited, because of the two cams smacking together. So I don't know about that. I think that's like a bit of a defect. I don't think I would like it. His adjustments on his Akimbo 2, the female version, but on the Akimbo, his adjustments, he wanted to show how you adjust it, and they were already rusty, and that was after climbing on it in a little bit of rain. One climb and a little bit of rain, and it's already having surface rust inside on the adjuster. So not a fan of that. That don't give me any confidence in that system at all. So all in all, what are my final thoughts on the Akimbo 2? So I wanna be, politically correct and honest. So I kind of jotted a little bit down here. So I understand that it's 2025, guys. I get this. Okay? I understand. Um, and, most of the world believes that a woman can do any and every job just as good, if not better, than a man. Okay? Um, I'm a girl dad, so I have a daughter. And, I think it's awesome that my daughter will have the opportunity and the ability to do whatever she wants. Things are so, like, equal. Even in areas that maybe they shouldn't be. They are. They just, you know, it's, it's a it's a major thing these days. So I think it's awesome. Equal rights. I dig it. Like I said, I'm a girl dad. So there are plenty of female arborists these days that are amazing climbers. Um, like one of them that I kind of have talked to and know from Instagram is Kayla Sender. So she's very skilled. Um, doesn't hurt when you're good looking as a woman. You probably do pretty good when it comes to social media, but there's really good girl climbers out there, and they deserve to have their own devices, just like dudes, just like us guys. So, I mean, we as men, we just received the Blackbird. I don't know who made it. ART maybe made it, but we just received the Blackbird for guys. That big hunk of metal that just looks like a brick. That's what we got. Um, so and it kind of's got a kind of a cool name, Blackbird. Like it's kind of tough. You could have called it like the Raven or the Crow or something. But so all in all, I feel like the Akimbo 2 is simply the equal rights device for the climate industry. You know, it it's for women. It's pretty, and they deserve to have their own device. They should rock it. So the Akimbo 2, is it a good device? I don't know. Like I said, it's for women, so I probably will never try it. But to each their own. Um, like I said, it's the equal rights device for the climate industry. Just like battery chainsaws are the equal rights saw in the chainsaw world. They make the battery saws for the women, for chainsaws, for cutting, for firewood, for whatever it is you want to use. Is there men that use them? Yeah, are they real men? But I mean, technically, yes, yes, yes. There are men that for some reason do use those. So I mean, I support it fully. I'm stoked to see that women get their own device. So that is my opinion on the Akimbo 2. I think it's awesome. Um, and yes, I think it's very pretty. It's prettier than the first one. So shout out to Rock Exotica for basically coming out with the first female device. That's really cool. That's really cool. Um, the other question is, do I think different of Perry Trees for having this device? And absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, if any man out there could have the device and get away with it, I mean, he's always doing the duck lip thing. He's got a ponytail. Like, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, I think it's awesome. So I don't think different of him, mainly because he didn't he didn't buy the device. So it ain't like he was like, oh, I want the pretty device. It was sent to him to review. And I'm sure they didn't just want to send it to only women. They wanted to show, hey, if you're a little softer, or, you have different, but you can use this too. So, you know, I just, I can't look down on him for demoing a product. Um, I feel like he's just supporting equal rights, kind of like how Zacchaeus does with the battery-powered stuff. You know, I feel like Zacchaeus the same way. He's just, he thinks it's. I hope that's his reasoning. But you know, he backs battery-powered everything. Milwaukee. First of all, guys, I'll use Milwaukee stuff when I need to use a drill. Who the hell let these guys in the tree industry? I want to know who it was. No, you can't. I say no. I say no. Milwaukee's out. No. All these guys that are like, this is homeowner stuff. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. So, yeah, that's that. The Akimbo 2's out. You know, it looks like it will fit in most of y'all's purse. So go get one. Nope, ground pounder. I wouldn't even say that about the steel one, dude. It's not cool. It sounds like crap, dude. I hate it. I mean, I'm sure, like, as men, every once in a while you use your wife's tweezers too, but you don't walk around with a pair of tweezers in your pocket all the time. Like, I don't know, man. It's not for me. But hey, that's hey, have at it though. Who do we do next? So that was it for Perry Trees. I feel like he put out a pretty good video. Let's do a different one. I have to put this name in the description because I totally forgot that I was gonna discuss him. Let's do his after we do the first Billy Ray video. So I know a guy that says giants. That John Bob, that checks out, brother. That 100% checks out. My wife hates when I use her tweezers. I know. And some of these guys are probably have to listen when they get home, and they're like, you know, first thing, how was your day, honey? I noticed my Milwaukee battery powered saw was gone. Did you use it? And you guys know. Absolutely not. That never happened. I was never in a boom lift either. I think they call them estrogen elevators is what they're called. I don't think they're called lifts anymore. Dang, Anthony. Hide into the lift. No. Lift. Don't say that. That's not. Don't do that. Okay. Next channel. Buck and Billy Ray. So we got 2 for Buck. Oh shoot. I was supposed to. Damn. See, I already messed up. Who did I do first there? We opened with Perry. We're like 20 minutes in, so we'll say like at the 2-minute mark. So work with me on the Perry one because I really was not paying attention. Dang it. So next. See? Tough. Yeah, you should Tim has issues. You should see his Echo battery powered saw. The damn thing's rainbow colored. So next is Buck and Billy Ray Smith. He puts out a video called Neighbor is Getting Nervous. So I can't, you know, he's got a good title. People are starting to get it. You don't, we're not trying to, the description's where you type a paragraph. The title isn't. You get a sentence. Make it work. It's like a book or a movie. You don't go to the movie theater and like there's this long, so Buckin's figuring it out. I back that. So he walks around like fully geared up at the beginning of this job with like multiple 100-foot ropes hanging off of him and dragging the ground. So right from the get-go, weird. I'm like, why does he need all these ropes? And I'm like, oh, you know what? He's gonna actually tie in. He's not gonna be like a dinosaur. And just, I mean, I think I've come to the conclusion he's not a tree climber. He's a logger. A lot of loggers are good at climbing trees. The climbing contest that you see people go up the little pole and then they drop down, those are often loggers that get good at climbing, because they'll go up top a tree out to put like a drag line or whatever the hell they call it, their anchor, for when they log. So he's got all these 100-foot ropes hanging off of him, multiple ones. So he takes multiple ropes up with him to do this tree, but doesn't use any of them. I mean, he can make things safer, but no, actually he makes things more unsafe, because he's got all kinds of extra shit hanging off of him and a whole bunch of extra weight hanging off of him. For what? I don't know, so that he looks the part. So that is a stupidity violation right there. So I gotta hit him with one. Get out of here. Don't be dumb. For God's sake, if you're not going to use it, just leave it on the damn ground. So I understand being old school and not knowing modern safety ways to be, to be safer. But this, he's a numbskull. He will show a technique and say how important the safety is, but then stupidly will use the most unsafe way of doing it. I don't understand. It's like his arrogance, his ignorance, his stubbornness, and his stupidity absolutely get in the way, and he can't make a common sense, simple decision. Whatever. So apparently he must have, I would say in the past year, he's learned, he fixates on things. He will fixate on them, and he says them so much that they become merch, okay? So like, get the gullet. You know, he said that so much it became merch, and everyone started saying it. And it turns out that that's not a gullet. Like, there's a guy who explains it on YouTube. He's very clear about it, and seems like he actually knows. He doesn't just make up words when he doesn't actually know something. He researches it and explains it correctly. So that's something that's, I feel like, missing with Bucking a lot. But I feel like the past year he has learned the term epicormic growth, and he uses it non-stop. And it's a big word that not a lot of people know, so he can look smart, I feel like, is the only reason he uses it. So he's focused on telling you about this epicormic growth, which, okay, let's, okay, cool, whatever. So he knows the word epicormic growth, just so everybody knows. So he heads up this tree, and he turns into buckstrap Billy Ray Smith, because that's all he uses. He is nothing but a buckstrap. He's a logger cosplaying as a tree climber. No offense to loggers. This is one of the hardest jobs in the world. I don't want to do it. But let's not pretend like you're a skilled tree guy that stays up with tree standards. What if logging standards changed? You would change to keep up with them. He doesn't do that with tree climbing. He wants to teach you, and he's always focusing on teaching the new guys. For God's sake, new guys, do not learn from somebody who's outdated and unsafe. It's stupid. He can help you fine-tune the basics and maybe give you some tips and tricks, but he's not the guy you need to be learning from. And I know for a fact that there are many people out there that are learning from him. And God, please look after those people, because It's like you're saying you don't want to be cold, and then you go out in a winter storm wearing shorts. Like, eventually, you may be warm at first, but you're gonna get cold. They're gonna mess up, and if they're not being safe, an accident's gonna happen. Just because that knucklehead actually got away with it, doesn't mean you're going to. That's my point I'm trying to say. So, buckstrap Billy Ray, uh, it, it just, the whole time I'm watching him, it looks absolutely stupid seeing all of these hanks of rope hanging off of him. Big old wads, coiled up ropes hanging off of him that aren't being used. They're just hanging there for what? Like, for what, man? He uses nothing. Um, he he buckstraps up the tree, he buckstraps down the tree. So, like, I thought as he went up, blew a top out, I'm like, maybe he'll put a rope on and use it to descend. Maybe he's going to put a pull rope in this. No, he did none of that. There was no purpose to even bring a rope because this knucklehead wanted to do it the, the logger way, the old school logger way. That's what he did. Um, he's more focused on fixating on silly shit, like his little he'll fixate on a weird little thing, a very, very little thing, like telling people work on your wedgemanship. Like, he fixated on how you hit a wedge. Okay, how about you, instead of fixating on that stuff, you go learn the real way to do stuff, since you want to be Mr. Teacher Guy. He spends this entire video repeatedly telling people to work on a pull and chain. Cloud doesn't have a ceiling, yeah, I know. So he fixates on this pulling chain. Work on a pull and chain. Work on a pull and chain. All you new climbers, stop talking to the new climbers. If you want to be this old school dude who still does it old school, cool. But stop trying to teach people to do things unsafe. It's crazy. So he wants to know, why would you ever work on a back bar? Okay, dipshit, I can't handle that. You are absolutely 100% narcissistic and a absolute hypocrite. You backbar shit forever, dude. That's all you've done. You've backbarred non-stop. Well, I mean, why out of nowhere are you you're Mr. Holier Than Now. Don't ever backbar. That's dangerous. No, it's not. It is an advanced technique, and I think as a new climber, if you're new to using chainsaws and stuff, I would try to stay away from backbarring until you get control and get comfortable using that chainsaw. But backbarring, when you're up in a tree, may keep you from getting nothing but sawdust in your face, or you get sawdust in your eyes. Backbarring may allow you to get the wedge out of there in an uncomfortable position. It may allow you to get the right angle. Like, yeah, it's not going to pull the chainsaw into the tree. It wants to spit it out. But he starts saying that his reasoning is because people, get tired and dangerous things can happen. No, this is just your weird way of fixating on something. You're going to try to make a t-shirt that says, work on a pull and chain. Remember, stand up and buck? He likes getting backboard. Oh, no. Hey, I've heard that rumor on the internet. It's going around. So, you guys remember stand up and buck. I wonder how much money he made off that tip. Same way he's trying to do here. You're soon to see merch that says work on a pull and chain, because if you watch any of his videos, he is going to pound that into your skull. And if you're a bit simple-minded and not confident, you need to have some common sense. This guy's gonna, he's gonna embarrass you when you get around real tree guys. If you go walking into real tree guys looking like this and doing the shit he does, you're gonna get laughed at. Don't embarrass yourself. Just don't do it. I'm telling you, you're gonna get embarrassed. I don't want to see anybody look like a complete fool because they decided to learn a trait from somebody who actually never knew the trait fully. He may have done the job. He may have got away with a bunch of crazy stuff. He may be skilled at climbing trees, but he never, ever, ever should be the guy that's out there teaching classes or trying to teach people how to do something. I'm not that guy. I don't think I should ever be doing that either. You know, you just have to know your limits. He doesn't. He's got main character syndrome. He thinks anything he says is the gospel, and he has the right answer for everything. So, I'll sit down and fucking sick. Right on. I dig that. Stand up while pulling your chain. No. Actually, no. That was that was vulgar. I don't like that. He's a poser. That's exactly it. He is. I've backed that 100%, Jay. I think there's a good dude. I just think he doesn't know who he is anymore. He's living this character he's made up to the point that that this is not him. I'm just telling you. I know that this may be the guy he's became, but this was not the original Buck and Billy Ray. By no means. Let's just leave it at that. So he says that everything when he's talking and he's teaching, he's talking to the new guys. Please don't talk to the new guys. Like, don't talk to them. Leave them alone. He asks, why would you ever back bar? It's less dangerous at times. And you don't end up with, like, if you take your saw and you turn it around like this and you're cutting towards yourself, that's more dangerous to me, in my opinion. He says work on a pull and chain. This is his exact word, is that most chainsaw accidents that happen up in a tree happen because guys try backbarring. That's an absolute lie. Most of them are from cut chuck, trying to hold something and cut it. That is the truth. It don't matter if you're backbarring, bottom barring, top barring, butthole barring. I don't even care. Like, he's lying. He's a type of person that moves the goalpost to suit whatever it is he's doing right then. So he wants you to really believe his work on a pull and chain to the point that he has no problem looking the world in the face and lying and pretending like he knows something he doesn't. Oh no, yes, this has nothing to do with the man. It has everything to do with the character and the content creator. So as a man, yeah, I can't say a word. If BBR sold earplugs at his public appearance, he could really make some money. I'm telling you, he could. There's people out there. There's some of you. I swear. There's some of y'all. I read the comment section that you just glaze these content creators to no living end, and they don't even respond back. I feel bad. Like, I'm embarrassed for the people at times. Like, he could sell his toenail clippings, and there's some yahoo out there that's gonna buy them because they just hope they can get closer to him, and maybe he'll like my post, and I don't know. Like, I feel bad for those kind of people. So at one point he's up in that tree and he's taking chunks down, little logs, and he ends up hitting the fence, messes up, it hits and slides into this cedar split railing fence. And when he hits the fence with the log, he says, "Oh yeah." No, oh yeah. No, actually, no. I say that's property damage. That's property damage. That's a violation. I don't like that. Stop lying. Don't say "oh yeah" when you mess up. That's somebody who's done YouTube for so long, he knows how to cover things up. Like he's oh yeah when you mess up. Okay. Well, who are you? The Kool-Aid man? Who? Get out of here. Lim Reaper. I dig it. I agree. I have to back that. Yeah. No, I'm calling you out, Tim. I read your comments in August video. That's hilarious. Don't do that. Um, so yeah, you don't hit the fence and say, oh yeah. So the new guys would get laughed at just straight up. If you learn all your stuff from this guy and limit yourself to his knowledge, you're gonna get embarrassed when you get in front of not even, I wouldn't even say real tree guys, the modern day tree guy who stays up to the regulations and standards. So oh, first Jim, damn, I didn't even see first Jim was here. What's up, brother? Okay, well, have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping in, appreciate it. Okay, who is that it for Bucking? I think it, no, it isn't. His narcissism, fixate on pointless things like the pulling chain. Yeah, I just, another note where I talked about him always, the pulling chain. That's weird, dude. Whatever. Alright, who do we do next? Let's do, oh, I said I would do Indiana Doug. So Indiana Doug put out a video, it caught my attention. So what time is it? 45? So Indiana Doug puts out a video, and it is called DIY Tree Rigging Slings Cheap. So I mean, don't we have enough people giving tree advice out there? Like, do you really want to make your own slings? Do you, I mean, maybe there's guys out there that's going to use this technique, but I wouldn't trust this. He's trying to teach you how to make a speed line setup, basically. And maybe he knows how to cut trees, but I'm not taking rigging advice from a person like that. Like, I want rigging advice from somebody who does rigging and knows all, like, so much about rigging that they understand it. Then they start giving advice. Not, I used this one time, so you can do this. YouTube is just, it's just out of control now. So he shows you how to do a DIY sling. He like tucks one end into the other and then ties a knot, and I think it just looks janky. I don't understand that. It's girth hitched onto a carabiner that has wire gates and no lock, and I just think, like, I don't know what he's using these slings for and what his purpose for them is, but I would not trust them slings to do any of my rigging unless it is like very, 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 very tiny stuff. And there's still multiple failure points in it. To each their own. Maybe y'all want to take your rigging advice from a guy who reviews Neotech chainsaws all the time. Not me. Not me. Not to say this means this has nothing to do with Doug. This doesn't have any, depiction on him as a person or him as a tree guy or him as a chainsaw user. I'm just saying no to the video. I'm not doing that. So the slings he made are just like straight flat webs that are hollow, and he like tucks one end into the other, he ties a knot, then he girth hitches it on, and he's like, no, you gotta see it, but go watch his video. The video is called DIY Tree Rigging Slings Cheap. So rigging is usually something so important that it's over a valuable obstacle or object. If I'm rigging, there's something of value below that I don't want to hurt, smash, or hit. So the word cheap is not something I want to see when I'm looking for stuff. Timber slasher, what's going on? Yeah, it's just that doesn't entice me. That doesn't entice me. I take advice from a lot of people actually, but I also use my common sense. So, let's see. Yeah, you guys see the videos of like these wire carabiners that he's using. I use one of those for a keychain because I couldn't find anything other use for it ever. So don't you dare start that rumor, Lift. That is blasphemy. Reg's has got it going on, Fred. He's the man. How did I forget Reg when I was doing the top climbers? That's blasphemy. I should have. Yeah, he definitely should have made high on the OG list. So, he's about to hit the dinosaur list though. I think that bowl cut, that long Hanson bowl cut's probably getting a lot of grays in it. But yeah. Okay, Doug, I'm just gonna be straight. I'm just gonna give it to you straight. What we want is we want to know about the Chainsaw Cult lawsuit. That's what I want you to do a video on. I'm subscribed because I want to know that. I want to know what's going on with Goofy Turtle Head Steve and him suing you because of a video or of a knockoff dirty chainsaw that he sells. Yeah, I want to make a video on the lawsuit. That's what I want to watch. I don't want advice for tree climbing, like, or rigging. I want a Chainsaw Cult video. That's what we want, okay? That's all I got to say about that. I'm jumping all over the place. It's going to be tough to keep up with. Alright, let's do... Let's do Veterans Tree Service. No, hang on. Let's do August. Oh, I'm about to make no friends right here. But the truth has to come out. If nothing else, I'm unapologetically honest. Okay. So August Haneke puts out a video. My first tree removal kit and the hornets that tried to stop me. I don't know, like I would never live that close to Hollyweird like y'all. So, but I'm not on the West Coast. I don't know. Around here, when we have those bees that come out of the ground, those are called yellow jackets here. Maybe y'all got like hornets in the ground. I don't know. I don't really know. Maybe they're called hornets. They look like what we have being yellow jackets, but like I said, I'm probably wrong. I don't live on the weird West Coast, so yellow jackets absolutely suck. I remember being a young kid, like 10, 11. Me and my brother went out in the woods and was going to make a little camp spot. And the first spot we chose, we took rakes. We took my dad's rakes out of his truck and went over there and we raked the leaves and we raked a yellow jacket's nest, and we were both like wearing swim shorts, and they filled our shorts up, and it was not good. What up, Doug? Doug, I want a Chainsaw Cult video, damn it. Tell us. You're the leader. I mean, none of us, when are we supposed to drink the Kool-Aid? And how much am I supposed to drink? I don't even know. I don't know. I just want to know. Um, Steve is so ridiculous. If you don't know, he put out a short not too long ago where he act like he just found the most amazing evidence in the world, because he's like he says Doug really cooked himself here. He admits that he signed an affidavit saying that he has no relationship with Neotech. But then I went on his channel and look right here, a sponsored ad for Neotech, which proves that he has a relationship with Neotech, and he's he's basically cooked himself here. He lied on a testimony. I just The dude's so old he doesn't understand how YouTube works, so he makes himself look like an ass all the time. Dude, I was talking about being around a yellow jacket's nest. Not funny, ground pounder. Actually, yeah, it was. So August put out his video. This is, I just can't. My first tree removal kit, and I'm gonna correct him because I feel like hornets isn't the correct term. I believe they're yellow jackets, and the yellow jackets that tried to stop me. So, right from the very get-go, I want to say you, sir, are extremely greedy. I'm gonna have to hit him with the theft and robbery of his viewers, because he is now selling an entire tree climbing kit that you can buy for more than double the price that it should cost you. So for all of you people that have more money than you have sense, you can now get all of your tree climbing care and needs from August Hunnicky. So he's put together this kit that he's going to sell on monkeybeaver.com, where you get a saddle with suspenders. You get what's up, Babylon? You get Dano, what's up? You get I'll try to keep up. Busted. Yeah, he's getting ready to. Um, so yeah, Lim Reaper. I don't know. Super Dave, what's up? Half a dozen one spiders. No, yeah, that's all sucky stuff. I don't like any of it. So he's put together this kit. You get the Monkey Beaver saddle, the 1.0, but you get suspenders with it. So I'm gonna at first I can't say that this is some junk stuff, because that's quality. You know, it's proven to be a good saddle. A lot of you guys like it. I'm not about to sit here and be like, go Monkey Beaver. I've never tried it. Probably never will. It looks floppy to me, and I prefer more of a rigid saddle. I want padding, but I want some rigidness to it. So you're gonna get the 1.0. You get a climbing rope. You get a hitchhiker, or a hitch climber pulley and prusik, and I guess carabiners with it, all set up for you. You get spikes, and you get a lanyard. Dude, I'm glad you got rid of that shit. It'll stain you and ruin you for life. Don't do it. Suspenders are a must. Like, I think for any tree guy, if you've never tried suspenders on your climbing saddle, it's something you definitely need to try, and it will make life a little better, a little more comfortable, a little easier. So, right from the get-go, I'm out. Because when you're buying from a YouTuber, and I think it's awesome to support the content creators, okay? I back that. But let's be honest here. you're paying double the price when you buy it from them. But if you have more money and you have sense, cool. If you just want to support the person, that's even cooler. Like, I can't bring myself to even want to sell merch because I feel like it's like I've 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 given away content for as long as I have. Now I do members, and maybe now I feel like, I can. I've done it for so long, like it's justified in my opinion to ask for $4.99 a month for me to spend all that time continuing to make videos and upload them and edit them, like. But I even feel a bit guilty for that. So like, I could never do this. So he says you get these climb right spikes, and right from the get-go, he says I really like these climb right gaffs because they are straight spiked. The spike comes off at like a straight angle, and he says that he likes them better than the newer, technologically advanced with the fangly dangly things. So the reason that the newer gaffs are designed at that angle is to allow you to keep your legs in a more comfortable position and gaff in. I'm not the biggest fan of it either, but at the same time, I've never used the newer ones and seen how they work, so they may be great. I don't really know. I can't really say about that. But I can say that the Climb Right tree spikes don't look good to me. I looked up reviews on them. First thing I did, I looked up reviews. Those things look like some of the cheapest tree climbing spikes I've ever seen. The pads, mainly, is where my negativity goes. They look incredibly cheap. I've seen multiple people say that the pads instantly delaminated and separated. The threading came out. They're not padded enough. That you instantly should look to upgrade the padding, which I'm not spending $250 on a pair of spikes and then have to upgrade the padding because they're not good enough. That's crazy to me. But August says, I'm selling these spikes because I like them. No, 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 no. I think that's a lie. This is just my opinion, but I think that's bullshit. I think the reason you're selling those spikes is because the profit margin is higher. You can take these cheap spikes, slap a big number on them, and make more monies. Because that's all anything's about. It's just about the monies. So he also says that you get a climbing helmet. I would think it's probably this cheap ass climbing helmet. He hasn't shown it, but he instantly talks shit on the protos that he has wore for 8 years now. So if protos weren't good and weren't the best, what the hell have you worn nothing but protos for the past 8 years? Can you make that make sense for me? But the second he has a product that he's trying to sell and make money, all of a sudden, yeah, these aren't very good, the protos. Bullshit. They're the best. I promise you that whatever it is that you're about to sell is not as good as the protos in quality. I don't believe it. I won't believe it. Prove me wrong. I call bullshit. I think you're going to sell a cheap helmet that you can make the most money from. Profit margins is going to dictate what you sell because you don't have an investment in them. You didn't spend years designing it. You ain't spend years training and using it and like testing it. You don't care. You don't care what spikes people put on their legs. You don't care what helmet they're wearing. You don't care what rope they're climbing on. You're going to sell all gear, guarantee you, for the rope because you have a partnership with them. You make more money. You're going to sell hitch climber because it's the absolute cheapest setup you can do so you can mark it up and make the most money. You're going to sell a very cheap helmet because you can make more money. Only thing I can't say much about is that saddle because he spent years ripping off the Rock Exotica one that he took the design from and testing it. and putting his own thing to it. So like, cool, whatever. The monkey beaver thing, maybe it's great. So I would like to know, it's got a hitch climber set up in his climbing setup. He says the reason he's doing this is because he's teaching his daughter how to climb. And while he's teaching her how to climb, he's going to teach everybody else too. Okay, dude. Okay, yeah. He's now selling all this stuff just to help you guys. He doesn't even want to do this. There's no reason for him to do this. He's just doing it out of the kindness of his heart. He doesn't have better things to do. He just wants to help you guys. That's all. That's all lie. So I'm using an F-35 helmet from now. No, dude, do it. I'm bucking Billy Ray Rock's a motorcycle helmet, and like, I'm all for it. It's better than you just walking out there with your melon head and not wearing anything. So like, no matter what it is, I feel like you should be confident in whatever you do. Like, don't let somebody dictate what it is. You know, so there's a lot of people that are gonna instantly look at the stuff that August is about to sell and think, because August is a big YouTuber, that everything he's selling them is going to be quality, and they are going to pay the price no matter how stupid it is. This has been proven. Just like when you have such a great support system, you know, you jump your prices up because people trust you and you want more and more and more and more of their money. Like Bucket, he's building axes and he'll sell them to you for an outrageous amount of money, even though they don't cost him nowhere near that much money. So I don't know. I'll never be a big enough YouTuber to understand that silly shit, but it is what it is. So I would like to know how he's able to sell the hitchhike or the hitch climber setup as a climbing system to the masses. Like, there's no regulations to that, because when I talked to a company in Canada and they sent me the Benright ring, which is the 2 rings into one, they could only send me the actual ring because regulations kept them from being able to sell the sling, because with the sling it could be used. And they, like, I would just love to know what kind of insurance you need to have to be putting people into climbing systems. And I don't know. I just feel like there's so many scummy people out there. Even though I may not agree with everything he's doing here, I feel like somebody's going to end up trying to sue him for something, their own stupidity, because he taught them how to do it on YouTube and he sold them the stuff. And so when they fell, it's his fault. Like, I hope not, but that's my fear of this whole thing. So, he says, you know, he's teaching his daughter how to climb, so while he's doing that, he's going to teach everybody else simultaneously. He keeps talking about how light the spikes are and how much he likes them. And he is, during the video, he is using the Milwaukee battery-powered saw that's meant for women. But, I mean, I think he was using his daughter's whole setup. That's probably why he was using the Milwaukee. It's her chainsaw is for girls. But, yeah. So, he also says that when you use the Milwaukee chainsaw, the one that's for women, with the battery, he says you don't need hearing protection for that thing. Yes, you do. I don't want to hear it ever. More or less when I'm in a tree. It sounds disgusting. I hate it. And I want hearing protection when I watch the video. When the edited video comes out, I'm watching it. As soon as he starts to use it, I wish I had my earmuffs on, because I hate the sound of it. So he talks about how there's cheap gear you can get on the internet, and admits that there's a lot of cheap stuff out there, but he's going to sell quality. That remains to be seen. I mean, I'll reserve a little bit of my opinion on this till we see what the actual kit consists of, every part, and how absolutely and utterly outrageous it is. So I'll I'll wait a little bit. I feel like you're gonna get a cheap helmet, you're gonna get a cheap climbing system, you're gonna get a cheap lanyard with cheap spikes, and an outdated but a quality saddle and suspenders. So he also says at one point that he doesn't feel guilty selling new climbers cheap gear for expensive prices. If you don't believe me, go watch the video. He literally says he does not feel guilty taking all your money, which is it says so much about a person. And if you don't believe that, you haven't lived enough life and haven't dealt with enough people to understand. That says a lot about a person when they make it a point in their video to be like, I don't feel guilty taking everybody's money. That's that's dirty. But I mean, hey, to each their own. He's doing the tree. During all this big infomercial, which is what the whole video was. He's removing a tree, and he's tied incorrectly, as he ends up throwing his chain off of his daughter's Milwaukee chainsaw. Um, he says he needs to get comfortable to fix it. So then the idiot ties in rainbow anchor style, like he's Tim's second cousin, and no, that we don't rainbow anchor. That's unsafe. It's it's stupid, and I mean at least it looks like it all goes together when you're using a female saw, and you know, but don't do that. Don't rainbow anchor. It's not worth it. In the comment section, I'm sorry. There's a lot of cringy glazing going on. Um, everyone, when you leave those comments, you're adding to his arrogance. You know, you're making his "I'm better than you" attitude even more out of control. Not to mention, he never responds to you. So you can say the most nice, amazing things to him, but unless he can see that you just bought something from him, he's not responding back to you. He don't care. Like, I don't know. I have better things to do than try to support somebody that doesn't give a damn. So some of y'all are sucking him off, and he doesn't even like your comment. I think that's lame of him. But like, I mean, I don't really fault the person who leaves the comment. They're just trying to support, and I don't know. But I just noticed he only likes comments when people are leaving a comment that says, "The monkey beaver saddle changed my life." And then he'll comment back, "Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it changed lives." You're lame, dude. Um, you guys just, it's like you guys have a crush on the lead cheerleader, okay? But the problem is she doesn't know your name. And she doesn't care. She expects you to have a crush on her. And when you don't, that's like a wrench into their gears. They're like, "What? You know? Oh, you don't think I'm the coolest thing since sliced bread?" Yeah, I really don't. I really don't. I had an interaction with you that wasn't on the internet, and I know that I don't like you. So like, to each their own though. To each, you can leave your comment if you want. To me personally, he looks incredibly awkward on those spikes, those climb right spikes. They didn't look like they were comfortable. Like you kind of see him positioning himself. He looked awkward when he usually looks like he's not even, he's on autopilot. He does so many trees. So bottom line, no one has ever been honest and truthful and been like, "These are quality spikes." He said that they were good spikes before he ever used them. Think about that. And how are you supposed to know after the first time using them if they're good? In this video, he's like, "These are quality." Whatever, man. Whatever. I don't agree, but hey, you know, it doesn't matter to you. You know, you don't feel guilty taking everybody's money. But hey, do your thing, man. Oh, Nate, you taking off? Right on, brother. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. Got my thumbs, Sheriff. Yeah, I appreciate the thumbs. Um, did Jay? Oh, okay. Hey, Jay. Alright, so, no, bro, not me. Okay. Yeah, I think it's probably just a coincidence that he thinks that those spikes are amazing before he ever used them. It's probably just a coincidence that those are the spikes he's going to be selling. It's probably a coincidence. Okay, just know that. Okay, don't look into it. Just know. Don't look at reviews and all that kind of stuff. Um, I gotta speed this up. Okay, Lumber Joe put out a video, and let me be clear. This may be the last time that I talk about this YouTube channel. I have asked this knucklehead to get a damn hard hat, and he won't. He's not listening. And if this dude doesn't wear a hard hat from now on, this will be the last time I review them or give them any attention or tell anybody to go watch their videos. That'll be it. But Lumber Joe puts a video, complete tree removal, rotten widowmaker, and then he puts like 60 different hashtags. Um, I don't know what you're doing, but it's not like you make your YouTube titles like a teenage girl does Instagram posts. That's lame. So apparently they needed a lift for this broken tree. Um, there's two of them. There's a younger dude. His name's Lancer. There's a heavy set, and Lancer's skinny, kind of smaller guy. Then there's this heavier set guy who looks a little older. His name must be Joe. He's Lumber Joe. So Lumber Joe needed the lift. Lumber Joe can't wear a hard hat and doesn't wear a damn, like, doesn't wear a harness when he's in the lift either. So I understand, like you say, like I can understand a little bit when people are like, well, I've never used a hard hat and I can't handle having it on my head and it makes things awkward. That's just because you won't spend the time to get a quality hard hat that fits your head correctly. So that's bullshit. The fact that you wear a GoPro on your head with a goofy looking little thing that looks like you have underwear on your head, you look silly as hell. You look goofy. It's a bit sus. Get a damn hard hat so you can stick the camera on it. Don't wear like the straps from someone's underwear on your head so that you can have a GoPro. That's goofy. That's super goofy. In the video, he uses, um, most chainsaw companies have a female version, which is usually the battery-powered saw. Husqvarna has theirs, and in this video, he used the female Husqvarna battery-powered saw. And besides, he's not going to wear a harness or anything when he's up in the saddle. He has a chainsaw lanyard. So he's not wearing a saddle or nothing like that, but he has a chainsaw lanyard. And where would you think he would put his chainsaw lanyard? Like, where would he hook it? He's not wearing a saddle. Well, he hooks it around his neck. So he's got a chainsaw lanyard around his neck. And I just don't understand about this. He seems like he has some experience. But just because you've gotten away with being stupid and unsafe 100 times, it doesn't then make it okay. It makes it stupid. And it's still unsafe. I can't take their content serious anymore. It's like watching a homeowner do tree work. There's the younger guy. He's like a kid or a rookie. His name's Lancer. He looks way more like a tree guy than the guy who's the arborist. Lumber Joe likes to call himself an arborist. I've never seen anything so outlandish before when it comes to tree work. Dude, you are so incredibly far from an arborist. That is an insult to everyone who's ever spent the time to become an arborist for you to call yourself an arborist. You're not. You're not. You don't even have the brains to wear a damn hard hat. So the young kid who's the greenhorn, who's the rookie, and trying to get into tree work, he looks like the professional. He's smart enough to have a hard hat. He wears high vis, got a face shield, got earmuffs. Like, he's the one that's looking like the pro. While Lumber Joe over there is looking like, half price Harry, who's the homeowner with a ladder and a chainsaw. Like, I don't, dude, you should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. If these guys were just hobbyists that, did tree work on the weekends, I wouldn't say anything. They choose to call themselves arborists. They label their video arborist or expert or this or that. Dude, knock it the fuck off. You are so far from that. That's all lies. So, there's my take on it. I don't know these guys personally, but I would say Lumber Joe is a redneck country boy who was likely taught by an even older redneck country boy. He learned the basics from him, and he took those outdated methods and those unsafe practices and made it work, and decided the day that he finally learned a few things from that guy and he was able to make money, he no longer needed to learn anything else because he knows enough to make money. That's crazy to me. You're not a pro. Don't call yourself a pro. You don't have the brains to even learn anything else or be safe. So I can't handle the whole arborist. You're not an arborist. His I don't know. Maybe he's a lost cause. Maybe the dude is just so old or so thick-headed that he can't be taught to do things safe anymore. So maybe I should save my breath when I say, hey, he should get a hard hat. He should get a hard hat. That would stop me from a lot of my bitching if he would just wear a hard hat. When the rookie on the ground knows better than you, and you're the one with all the experience, and you're supposed to be teaching him, that looks stupid. So Lancer, which is the other guy, he seems to be just a young kid who is extremely interested in learning tree work. He has very, very, very little experience, but he's already surpassed the guy who's mentoring him and looks more professional than the guy who's teaching him. Like, why would you just embarrass yourself and the entire industry by working without a hard hat? I will not understand it. These days, there's no excuse for that kind of shit. Lumber Joe, you know that you're supposed to wear a hard hat. So, wear a damn hard hat. You got a big-ass head, and it sounds like that damn thing's hollow or something. I don't know. So, that is my last time I'll say it. That will probably be the last time that I ever talk about that channel because I think he's too hard-headed to wear a hard hat. So, I'm not going to promote the channel by doing that, so that is what it is. So, we'll end the live feed with Veterans Tree Service, and the very last one will be Guilty of Treason. So we're going to sneak in a Game of Trees YouTube short. So on my timestamps, I abbreviated people's names, and Game of Trees wants to be guilty of treason so much that his initials are that. You stole his initials even. He wants to be Jacob. And that's weird when you're twice a dude's age and you want to be him. It should be the other way around. The young guy should want to be you. But it's not. The old guy wants to be the young guy. But whatever. That's just something I think. So he puts out a video called American Elm Takedown Plan. And in the video, he makes it clear that he thinks he is smarter than everyone else in this entire industry. He is climbing with just a buck strap, and he's using his silky. And he says that the industry standards, they need to relook at those standards, because he thinks that it's not unsafe to use your silky and be cutting with just a lanyard on. According to him, you couldn't cut through a rope lanyard, which is absolutely stupid to even say, with a silky. Okay, let's say maybe you can't. Maybe you got a dull silky, and if you hit your lanyard when it's under tension, it wouldn't cut through it. I don't believe it. I think it will go through it. But, you know, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. That's when he decided he was going to pull Buck and Billy Ray and lie and say that, you know, you can't do that. Even though he knows that it's not true, it serves the purpose for what he's trying to say at that moment. So according to him, you should be able to only be tied in with your lanyard and swipe your silky all over the place. Well, listen, numbnuts. I've cut myself many times. And you want to know why I've cut myself many times and what I've cut myself many times with? Not with the chainsaw. I cut myself every time with the damn handsaw. If I go get a new handsaw, the first thing I do, I pay for it. As I walk out of the door, I take it out of the package and I slice my arm, because I try to get it over with. You're going to cut yourself every time. That's just the way it works. Anytime you get a new handsaw, just cut yourself real quick. Get it over with. It's just what you have to do. Just get it done. So, I don't know, anybody who's ever done tree work for long enough, this is the way it works. This is the real rules. So for him to say that the industry in general needs to rethink their rules to appease his old dinosaur ass is unreal. How about you shut up, old man, and do as you're told? And tie in. Shut up and tie in. That's what I got to say about that. Shut up. I don't even remember what his time was, but like, I don't know if I said it clear enough, but shut up. Do as you're told. And every time. I don't cut myself like with my chainsaw all the time. I cut myself with every silky or every handsaw I've ever owned. And if you gash yourself open real good, it would probably be a good idea to be tied in so you could come down real quick. But no dummy, for the sake of his YouTube video, which it seems like that's all he cares about, he'll bend the rule. He wants to tell you all the rules, and then he wants to bend them so that he can make YouTube videos. Shut up. Shut up, old head. Like, take a back seat. Go sit down somewhere. You know, eat some prunes or something, but shut up. Oh man, I got another Buck and Billy Ray video too, son of a bitch. I'll put it at the very end. I can't do another bucking. If I have time, yeah, I need to kind of crank this up a little bit. Let's do Veterans Tree Service, and then we'll do Guilty of Treason. There were so many crimes that, like, we have some stuff to work out with Guilty of Treason. So, just because you paid me money for the timestamps don't mean that you get away with anything. So, Veterans Tree Service put out a video. It was a stupid video. No, yeah, no, Tim put out a video. It was called Tree Removal / Deadly Consequences If I Get This Wrong. I'm just gonna say that's a stupid title. I don't like that title because it's not a real sentence. There's a slash in there, and I feel like you could have made that a sentence. Like tree removal tree removal with deadly consequences if I get this wrong. Like, it's not that hard. Take it out of there. I don't like that slash. So okay, he's doing a tree at one point, and I find it weird because it's a little skinny tree. Why he's not using his patented rainbow anchor technique? I don't know if that's because it's too dangerous, or because he's trying to be like a boy, or a real, like, trying to be a man and do it the way men do it, where you tie in right. I don't really know what his intentions were there, but he wasn't rainbow anchored, and I'm like, you know what? This boy can learn. Like, he's not a lost cause. He's he can he can change. So then he's at one point he's trying to teach us how to hang a limb and then release it after it settles. Shut up and make the cuts. Okay? Shut up and make the cuts. If you shut up and make the cuts, and then you make the monies, and then you go home and edit and make the videos, that's all. That's all we need. Shut up and make the cuts. Um, he says he gets aggravated when he sees climbers that are off the ground. Uh, not like they're not real high off the ground, not real high. They're not all the way up in the tree, and they ask for something. Their ground guy to grab something for them. Um, he says, "Don't be afraid to get that." You know what? Shut up again. Shut up 2 times, and get my shit when I ask for it, Groundy. That's what. When I say get my chainsaw, you get my chainsaw. When I say get my gas, you get my gas. I'm not coming down. I'm gonna stay right there, and you're gonna get it for me. I'm not gonna get down. And not all of us climb little baby trees, so like little 25 footers like you. Some of us have big trees. You got those little baby trees that you're doing, so yeah, you're not very far off the ground. You could probably just, yeah, you could use a step ladder to get to your canopies. So that is what it is. You don't start talking shit on all the rest of us because we don't want to climb down our actual real trees that are tall and stuff. And so, um, yeah, you got little trees. So at one point he asked Little Snatch, yeah, okay, so he's talking shit and he's on the ground. Listen to this guy. This guy, I can't handle this guy. He's on the ground, and he's talked a little bit where he's like, all right, it aggravates me when I see climbers do that. Just get down. Do it. You're real close. So he's getting stuff. This little fruitcake says, hey, Little Snatch. I think that's his exact word, Little Snatch. He says, hey, Little Snatch, will you fill my saw up? Hey, what the fuck? Are you serious right now? Didn't you just say you get down and you're going to do it yourself? And now you're on the ground with the saw and the gas and oil, but you still ask Little Snatch to get a... Oh, I'm telling you, this guy, he's not right. He's just not right. So, I don't know if Little Snatch listened. I hope he did. I hope he threw the chainsaw at him. But, you don't bump your gums about lazy climbers when you're a femboy. So, he's up in the tree. He says, I'm using the 1.5 Omni block to rig. And I'm like, okay, do you have any tools that are for boys? But I don't think so. So he says it's rated, basically, he says, this is the 1.5 Omni block. It's rated for bitch. I think is what he said. And, yeah, rings are for boys. So, like, you should try them. But, yeah, you can use the block. That's cool. It's nice to see him learning. So, I mean, he imitated my rigging by using the strap. So he's learning some stuff. I like that. I like that he's learning. He wasn't tied in rainbow style the whole time. He's learning there. He learned real rigging, and then he says he's not going to clip the metal carabiner to the aluminum carabiner I mean, I'm at that point right there. I'm beaming. I'm like a proud dad. I'm like, that. Get it, son. You're doing it. You're doing it. So he's learning, and I'm digging it. And so then out of nowhere, when after he talks about don't use the metal carabiner on the aluminum one, he ties in all LGBTQ SRT with the rainbow anchor again. And I'm like, no, what? You ruined everything. So I disown him again. Nope, nope, I'm out. Um, they're rigging some pieces, and I just would like to. This is just me talking to Little Snatch. Okay, this is Tim. You just relay the message. You ever heard of letting it run, brother? Listen, Little Snatch. Oh, dude, I don't miss anything. I'm the law. One of you guys don't even realize I'm camped outside your house right now. You're just doing surveillance. So, yeah, I need to just, hey, Little Snatch, you ever heard of letting it run? I don't know, but hey, that some people rig different. Maybe it's those, maybe it's the female blocks that they're using, the 1.5. Maybe you have to let it settle or something. I don't really know. Then he makes excuses for his rigging, for being like a noob and rigging little baby pieces every time. I noticed there's a lot of negative space in the rigging setup that kept the limbs kept getting tangled in it. That it's rookie mistakes. It's something that maybe he can grow out of when he gets big. And but his problem, like you see other people do stupid stuff, and their experience, and they do stupid stuff that makes you do stupid stuff. So like when August is like, hey, look at me, I do this stupid thing, other guys are like, hey, look at me, I'm just as stupid, if not stupider than you. So cool. Rainbow it up if that's what you want to do. I don't like it though. So okay, last week Tim 2, because there's two Tims, that needs to be changed. I don't like that. So there's Veterans Tree Service, the Tim, the owner, he's the Tim here. Then there's another Tim. So the other Tim, I called him Tim 2. Well, he was cooler than Tim 1 last week, so I made Tim 2, he became Tim 1. And Tim 1 became Tim, but I'm switching them back now because Tim 2 like stood there with his thumb up his ass and about got smashed by a log, and I don't like that. I don't like that. So he's now Tim 2 again, and that's just the way it is. So Tim can be Tim 1 again for a little bit. I'm sure it'll change. He'll do something stupider than Tim 2, and then it'll be Tim 1 again. But you know, Little Snatch is still just Little Snatch. So that's interesting, Kato. I mean, if you're gonna do wrong stuff, do it the right way. Sounds right. Okay, so listen to this shit. Okay, so we're at Guilty of Treason right now. And then I'm gonna sneak in one last Buck and Billy Ray, because it's a continuation of the first one. Guilty of Treason. Alright, Guilty of Treason. Where's it at? It's here somewhere. I think I watched it afterwards, so... Damn. See all these notes? You know what's writing? That's what Buckin's talking about. Don't backbar, your wrists get tired. My wrists get more tired writing violations for his stupid ass than they ever did doing a backbar. Alright, Guilty of Treason. The video was called "The City Took 8 Months to Approve This Dangerous Tree Removal." I would like to applaud the editor He's got skills. That's how you make a title. Not the stupid 2 titles, 3 titles like they were doing before. I like this. That's a good title. That's nice. It explains everything in one simple sentence, like a man would do it. Not like this, like a teenage girl. Some of y'all's titles are too long. So, um, so the video starts, and everyone knows I'm not a fan of the guilty of treason whole infomercial thing, where the video starts and the whole video is just an infomercial. I'm not a fan of that. But, you know, this video didn't start out with him being like, buy this, buy that. But right below, you can see some of his products that he sells. And I caught a glimpse of the ad for the Hawaiian t-shirt. And I don't like the buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. But I back that ad. I think that's sick. It somewhat made me question my sexuality, which is strange. It's never happened to me before. But it made me want to buy the Hawaiian shirt. So that's sick. I'm gonna back that. But so he's got these he's got his crane. He's about to do this tree, but the crane won't reach the tree, so they have to piece the tree down, and then they're gonna use the crane to get the stuff out of the back. I think that explains it pretty good. So he bought some new crane pads, and the new crane pads, I like. They seem pretty slick. Like one of them turns and like will change the angle, and it has like a what the hell is the word? A little balancing dial thing. What the hell is that word? A level. Holy shit. See, I tart out sometimes too, guys. So yeah, the new crane pad's got this cool little level on them, a little bubble level, and you can turn them, and it's for when he's got the truck on a hill. It will change the angle of the pad by the way you turn it, and it'll allow him to get a nice level for the outriggers. So those are pretty slick. I've never seen those before. Then Jake instantly starts crying. He's like, Randy, you're cool, and he is cool. If you've seen the Hawaiian like shirt ad, dude, he's jacked too. So like, he's like, you know what I don't like about you? And I would say, yeah, that I'm sick and cool as hell. Is that what you don't like? But he doesn't. Randy's nice, and he's like, no, tell me what it is that I do. And he says, listen to this. He says, I don't like how when you get in a vehicle, you don't unlock all the doors. What the? Who does that? The only reason my doors get unlocked in my vehicles most of the times is because they're automatic. And when you get in and you like open one door, it unlocks the rest of them. But who gets in their vehicle, starts it up and says, oh yeah, unlock everything. So what? That's not weird, dude. That's like, you can't be that lazy that you start whining about the fact that you had to walk around to unlock the door. Get out of here. If that makes it on your list of things that suck, you got a pretty great life. So he's like, yeah, next time when you drive vehicles, make sure you unlock all. Who does that? Unlock all the doors. Okay, so this is where I have a problem. There is a wager. There's illegal gambling going on. Okay, so this is illegal gambling. All right. First of all, so I have to do this. That's illegal. That's a violation. Okay. So they're going to do a bet, Randy and Jake, 3 months where you only eat meat, and they're betting $1,000. So my wife would beat both of you. I feel like that needs to be said. So for 3 months, they can't eat anything except for meat. I feel sus saying that, but right on. Some people do this carnivore thing. So they're doing a bet. They shake hands. So Randy, then, aka he's also known as OG number one because he's made a very prestigious list of tree climbers. Um, so he actually was number one in the OGs. So OG number one, Randy, he basically he decides that he's going to feature the female Husqvarna saw for the day because he also believes in equal rights. Um, he's not using it because he thinks that it's as good or equivalent or better than a gas saw. He's using it, you know, because like he just wants to. He believes in things to be fair. So he's not. I don't think that he doesn't think that it's as good as a gas powered man saw, but he thinks that it's fair to keep things even. So he decides to be Randy. Don't embarrass me. But he likes to use he wanted to use the female saw. That's cool. You can do that. Um, so I'm sorry. I my one of my top climbers to watch is Randy. That's how you make OG number one. But listening to that battery powered saw was torture. I hated every second of it, which proved to me it's not the climber that makes me hate it. Because I dig Randy. It is the chainsaw that makes me hate it. It is the sound of said chainsaw that makes me hate it. And it is the way that chainsaw is used that makes me hate it. So it's obvious that it's underpowered and it can't compare to a male gas powered chainsaw. So Jacob is running the crane, and at one point he gets to talking about back when he had started doing tree work, he was wearing like some Carhartt kind of pants, like an off-brand of Carhartts, and he had a big spider on him when he was up in a tree. He said that spider bit him. He ended up getting staph infection, which gave him pneumonia, and ended up with this big old hole, and his leg got hollow, and like, I don't know if any of you have ever dealt with it. I climbed a really disgusting, falling apart ivy tree. It's one of the scariest trees I've ever done in my life. It was absolutely terrifying. The only thing that was alive on the tree was the ivy that had it encased. There was, it literally looked like a bush, and there was a 60-foot maple tree inside of it. So when I did that tree, at one point a spider got up my pant leg and bit me at the top of where my boots meet my calf. And I have a chainsaw scar where when I was younger, I was wearing loose pants and it caught the end of my chainsaw and ran it into my leg. So I have like this spot that's missing, like a good scar. There's kind of a little dip in my leg where the chainsaw took it all out. Well, that's where that spider bit me. I didn't notice it because it's like way on the back of my leg. And I went skating long after that, and I hit my ankle with my board, and for days afterwards, my foot got so bad I was having trouble walking, and then I noticed it swelling real bad, and I thought it was maybe I chipped a bone, but it turned out that spider bite had gotten incredibly infected. My entire leg swelled up to double the size. My foot was a balloon, and I had to cut my leg open and drain the infection out of my leg. It was one of the most disgusting, terrifying things I've ever done in my life. And then I took a bunch of antibiotics afterwards and luckily kept my leg. So like, maybe tuck the pants in when you're doing some gnarly trees like that where there are spiders, but just be careful. Like I said, Jacob tells this story. It just reminded me of mine. I feel like to this day I'm lucky that I didn't lose my leg. So, remember the bet, right? $1,000. Jake and Randy shook hands. So this has got to be said. So they shook hands. Nothing but me, right? Nothing but me. They shook the hands. It's a go. Supposed to be 100% carnivore. Literally, a couple hours later, and this is absolutely a violation. This was one of the sneakiest, dirtiest things I've ever seen anybody do. What's up, Rad Dad? I'm trying to get to the bottom of this shit right now. Low impact. I put skateboarding stuff on my Instagram because I tried putting it on the YouTube channel and it ruined my channel and my traffic and like yeah. So they have this bet, $1,000, nothing but me. Literally a couple hours later, I caught Jacob. He lost. Jacob, you lost. You lost. Okay. So in the video, you got to go back. Randy wins. Literally a couple hours later, Randy's the winner. You give him his money. Okay. It's in the video. Jacob's over on the side of the crane sneaking, consuming a white powdery substance. And I mean, there's only one way that he didn't lose. And that is if that is meat powder. I've never heard of meat powder. It was very obvious that he was consuming a white powdery substance. And I've never heard of meat powder. I don't know that meat powder exists. It may. It's 2025, like it could. But I don't think that was meat powder. And that breaks the rules right there. So Jacob needs to pay Randy $1,000. Like, right now. Like, you lost. You weren't over there, you were doing powder. So just basically pay him his money. Pay up. So I almost didn't notice it. You know, because it was like in the middle of the video. I'm all focused on the fact that Randy is being tricked and Jacob is over here doing powder and it's not meat powder, so you lose right then. That I didn't even notice the infomercial that he worked in for Sappy Supplies. Because Randy climbed the tree out, and then like Jacob went back there to fall the log, and in the process of falling the log, he's like, "You can get this at Sappy Supplies, this up." I didn't really even notice it. So like, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you have to make money for your business, you know, if you have to make money for your business and it requires advertising, I think this is the way you should do it. Okay? I mean, if you have to make money, I wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't. Like, I would just file for bankruptcy, but yeah, he snuck that in there. I like that. So if you're going to do your infomercials, sneak them in the middle. It comes out better. So at about the 41-minute mark of the video, I see Jake, and he realizes that he lost the bet. And Randy doesn't even know that Jacob has lost, okay? This is $1,000. So I see the wheels turning, and Jacob starts thinking, and he's like, how can I even this up to where I don't lose? So then I see he tricks Randy. He says, "Hey Randy, would you like some of this white powder substance too?" And I think Randy fell for it and had some too. So I guess Jacob did it first, though. So, unless they're going to start the competition over, Randy, he needs to get his $1,000. That was sneaky, Jacob, how you did that. But you weren't eating meat powder, so you need to give him his money. Poor Isaac gets stuck grinding a stump with this little Toro stump grinder. Those are good stump grinders when they run correctly. I've used them many times. So he's using the Toro stump grinder. That thing has no power at all. Okay, to the point that I'm pretty damn sure I got a push mower that could have ground that stump faster. Like legit, I have a push mower that could have done it better, faster. And but Isaac pushed his way through it and seemed to get it done. So, I mean, I would have lit that thing on fire and pushed it off a cliff or something. Like it spins super fast. Like it's fully engaged, it's spinning fast, and as soon as you touch it to the stump, it just it dies. But yeah, maybe it's like the clutch or something in them. I know stuff goes out on those, but yeah, they're that thing is definitely messed up, and it's very underpowered. So there's something wrong with it, major. So Jacob gets to talk about how he wishes he would have brought the Avant for the job if he would have known that the neighbor was going to take the wood. And Randy's always funny. He says, good for you or something like that, and he's just being a smartass. But they get to talking about how they should take the Avant to the skate park. Now this is something that I back 1000%. I absolutely, positively want to see you take the Avant to the skate park and ramp it, or do something cool on a skateboard, like or at the skate park on the Avant. If I was at the skate park, I would think that's sick. So take it there. Randy says that he always liked at the skate park when the RC guys would show up, which is the remote control guys. No, I couldn't disagree with him more. Usually, I'm on Randy's side. This, I don't. Those dickheads that show up with those RC cars, when you're there trying to skate, they damn near kill you. So, I'm on Isaac's side when it comes to the RC guys. You need to take your ass somewhere else, and not the skate park. So get the Avant. So, the problem with taking the Avant to the skate park. See, I'm not dumb. I still am pissed off that there's not been a backflip. I was promised a backflip. Randy's going to do this backflip. He's going back. There's never been a backflip. Isaac tried to give us a backflip. I count it. But I feel like Randy doesn't get you don't even get to say the words backflip anymore unless you're going to do it. So yeah, that's basically it. I mean, that's, I think that was all I had for him this week. Yeah, that's all I had for him this week. The video is pretty sick. It's just a bummer to think that Isaac is leaving. So the videos are going to change up. I think at one point in the video, they were talking about my, my list, where I did the top climbers, the top 5. They were talking about it, but the editor cut it out. And he cut it to where it made it sound like Lawrence Schultz did the climber list. But I don't know. Don't ever, this goes out to the editor. Don't you ever edit my shit out again. I'm going to make it so he edits everything out always. But, yeah, so I have one more Buck and Billy Ray, and then I'm done. I'll talk to you guys for a second. That'll be it for the week. Okay, let's finish this shit up. Buck and Billy Ray. The last time stamp. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's almost 2 hours. This has got to be torture. This is like listening to it. Listening to me for that long has to be worse than listening to a battery-powered chainsaw. Okay. Pedro, what's up, man? How you doing? Just chilling. Okay. So the last video for the week. Buck and Billy Ray put out a video called They They Don't Teach This in School. Damn, I must be dyslexic or something. I wrote down something completely different, but I'm pretty sure that was what the title was. They don't teach this in school. So, in this video, he's taken down the second tree for that job. In the last video, he took down the first one, which was the smaller of the two trees, and was a little closer to the obstacles in the house than this one. This one's more on a steep, kind of inclined hillside. Um, so he points the tree out, and if you notice, all the limbs on the tree are completely dead. I mean, just completely toast. Yeah, right on, Dana. So the tree is completely, it looks completely shot until you get to the very tip top, and there's some green up in the top of the tree. Very strange how it grew, and it looks weird how it has no green until you get to the very tips of it. So I was like, huh, there's something up with that. So the tree has, it's nothing but dead limbs. It's at the very top, so it's became a hazard and needs to be removed. He goes over all these points in the video. As he's getting ready to start climbing this tree, he notices this tree has been climbed before, he says. And he points out the big, huge gaff marks that's in the tree. He then realizes he's the one that put those gaff marks. So without a second thought, he says, see, this proves it. It doesn't hurt nothing. It heals up fine. No, numbnuts. You spiked that tree. You didn't remove it. He may have used it for some rigging or something, but he climbed all the way up this tree. You will notice that that tree doesn't have a living branch on it until you get to the very tip where he didn't spike it. But everywhere from the ground to the point he stopped spiking that tree, there's not a green piece of nothing on that tree. But he has the gall to say, see, spiking a tree doesn't do anything. Hey, I'm pretty sure that this tree's a hazard, and you can't tell me that you spiking it didn't have an effect. So it was just wild to see him use the tree he's going to remove as the example for why spiking a tree is okay. Yeah, there's just, yeah, you gotta watch the, you can see the skeeziness in some YouTubers where they try to edit stuff out. I love that. I think that's the most interesting thing, Drew, to me, is trying to figure out those times when it's very obvious that someone has edited it together, because they know if they showed it without editing, it would be wrong and improper and misinformation. Like, those are my kind of favorite points. But you can tell the tree's completely toast until the point where he stopped spiking it years back. Then it's green. And I'm like, huh, well, that's interesting. So he says those big nasty holes from his past climb, that don't hurt nothing. Okay, sure. Why are you removing the tree then? So you see his gaff marks as he goes up the tree, and he uses his saw to cut off the little dead stubs. You see his gaff marks all the way up the entire time until you get to the canopy. Then you don't see them anymore because he goes around the tree. I paid very close attention. It looks to be like he maybe hung a pulley or something up in the tree back in the day, because he didn't go all the way to the very tip top. He didn't take the top out of it. There was no cuts up there. So more than likely he probably hung some rigging, and in the process he spiked the hell out of it and ended up killing it. Just because that tree doesn't instantly die when you spike the hell out of it, doesn't mean long term you didn't kill the tree. Just remember that. Because old Buckin will twist the narrative to make it fit whatever he's doing. So, um, in my opinion, his spikes ruined the tree. Him spiking that tree is what killed it. But that's just my opinion. So he's still whining, moaning, and groaning, and trying to, like, almost, like, bully people into believing this stupid ass work on a pulling chain. I promise you, he says this 50 times in this video, to the point that it was beyond annoying. Stop telling people to work. He obsesses over a phrase or a term, and he will just say it until it's just completely burnt in your brain. So I found it very funny that he's, just totally drowning you in this work on a pulling chain, work on a pulling chain, work on a pull. Oh gosh, why don't you stop pulling your chain? Then he starts to tell us he's going to give us a little lesson here. He's the guy that's going to give us all climbing advice. So he says, no climbing school would ever teach you anything other than working on a pulling chain. He says, I promise you, no school is telling you to back bar. Well, first of all, numbnuts, the smell of Geritol and Bengay is very strong right now. I feel like you just need to sit down, take a break, chill out. Because you, the guy who's never been to a climbing school ever in your life, shouldn't be the one giving us info on what is taught at climbing school. Just my opinion. Shut up. That's my opinion. Shut up. You don't know what they teach at climbing schools, because you've never been. So just share your outdated old school ways. In my opinion, he's became a walking contradiction at times, where he'll tell you, you gotta climb the high side of the tree, you gotta climb the high side of the tree, it's the most important thing, no climber would ever climb the underneath of the tree, climb the high side of the tree. He gets up to the top of the tree, he says, I'm gonna climb the underneath of the tree. Well, no, hang on here. Because at the base of the tree, you basically acted like to ever climb the underneath. I think he actually says, there's never a reason to climb underneath. Dude, you can't even wait till like the next day to contradict yourself. It's almost in the same breath. So, don't climb the underside, climb the high side. Gets up to the top. I'm gonna climb the underside because it's safer. I don't want to be on the high side. I wish you would make your damn mind up, because you're the guy that's teaching all the new guys, right? Maybe you shouldn't teach. I think it's unsafe, and I think that you're not the guy that needs to be doing it. So, take a seat. So, on his way down, he takes the top out. It was a gnarly tree. I think he's a good tree climber for using old school methods. I don't think that any person should ever use those methods in these days. I think you should use modern methods. I think you should use modern safety standards, and I think you should do things that are dangerous in the safest manner you possibly can. And that's just not what he does. So, on his way down, he decides he's gonna pop a couple logs off. So he says, and this is where the title of the video comes from. They don't teach this in school. He says, I'm gonna show you all the deep notch technique. And he's gonna teach us the deep notch technique. The problem is, he doesn't know why it works. Just because it works and you use it, don't mean you need to start teaching it. Why does that deep notch work, Buckin? Explain that one to me. You're telling everybody to use this technique, and What's the worries? What's the concerns? Could it ever go wrong? This is what he says. I'm going to teach you the deep notch technique. He puts a deep notch and he says, "You see that? Yeah, you guys can see that. I'm undermining the tree." This is what these narcissistic, I got main character syndrome YouTubers do. When they don't know something, they come up with a term for it, or they rename it because they don't know the real truth. Like, they don't know the actual proper information, so they rename it so that they can pretend to be knowledgeable. You may know how something works, but to be teaching it, you then need to know how to articulate and explain. So you don't need to be teaching the deep notch technique, because your explanation of how and why this works is, "I undermined the tree." What does that mean? Really? What does that mean? Can you tell me what that means? Because my understanding, and the only time I've ever tried to explain it, is when you put a deep notch in a log, you're moving the tipping point and transferring weight that was behind the cut to in front of the cut. So now, where you used to have more weight behind the cut and less weight in front of the cut, you would have to push to get it to go over, or pull with a rope. Well, when you then move the tipping point and the hinge back, you now have more weight in front of the cut and less weight behind the cut, which helps it and allows it to go over. All the weight in front of the cut starts it to move forward. It collapses on itself and goes over with ease. He understands that it collapses on itself. He doesn't know how. So maybe figure out how it actually works, then figure out a way to explain it without making up a bunch of words, which he always does, wedgemanship and jack-offmanship, and like, I can't even keep up with this shit. And like, he speaks his own language. Let's just say everything's got a fulcrum, and it's like I don't know. But yeah, I think what he means to say is the deep notch technique is cool, but I don't know how it works. Well, I know how it works. I don't know how to explain it to you, though. And that would just be honest. He wants to teach it, but if you don't know how to explain it, maybe you shouldn't be the one teaching it. Think about every time that you want to get on YouTube and teach something, reverse the roles and pretend like the viewer is your kid and the teacher is your kid's teacher at school. Would you want some idiot who doesn't know anything and just makes it up teaching your kid? I wouldn't. But teach their own. Well, guys, I'm sick of talking to you. This was the worst thing I've ever done. I hated every second of this. I was basically annoyed the entire time. I'm probably never going to do this ever again. This was miserable. I'm editing all this out. I didn't like any of it. But, guys, I appreciate you hanging out again. Again, we've done one more week. That's number 88. We're not far off from being 2 years straight of doing this. I appreciate you guys giving me your time and your attention. If I can help you with anything, you guys know where I'm at. Once again, in the comment section, there should be a link on how to join memberships. There will be timestamps, because Jacob Rogers paid me a large sum of money and cried. And so those will all be in in the description. And yeah, thank you to all the members, all you guys that have supported the channel. You're definitely keeping the wheels rolling around here. So, Brad, thanks, brother. Thanks, Limber. Thanks for hanging out tonight, man. I appreciate you. Dano, appreciate you. Ground Pounder. Anybody that was here tonight, I appreciate you giving me your time and your attention. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and have a safe work week. I'll see you next week. Oh, new video for memberships up tomorrow. Hang on. I'm gonna. Tomorrow I will be uploading, and the members, a video, and I will explain all the chaos where the truck got stolen, or where the truck was reported stolen, and the worker went missing, and it got worse. I will explain all that in the video tomorrow. I usually don't do an intro like that, but in this video, I usually edit that shit out. I record it, but I don't usually put it in the video because it annoys me. But I'm gonna put it because I feel like a lot of explaining needs to be done. I feel like there was drug use by multiple people in it. Like this, it was a circus. So just heads up, that video will be up tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks again to the members. Stay safe, and I'll catch you guys next time.